right. Today we're diving into a story that's, well, it's pretty heartbreaking, but also really profound. It's a story all about pride, incredible patience, and what can happen when love is realized just a little too late. So, this is the big question, right? Can a heart change too late? This is really at the center of everything we're about to talk about. It kind of makes you look at your own life, your own relationships, and just how much time you think you have. So, as we get into the story of Afshan and Sareem, just keep that question in the back of your mind. Okay, so let's set the scene. Our story kicks off with a young woman of Shan, and she's staring down a future she wants absolutely nothing to do with, an arranged marriage to her cousin Sareem. And for her, this wasn't just some inconvenience. No, this felt like a deep personal insult. I mean, listen to this. She tells her mom, "Mama, he's so plain, I will not marry him." It's just so blunt. Afshan genuinely believed Sareem was beneath her. She begged her mom, called him a villager, said he didn't even know how to dress. Her pride, her ego, it just couldn't handle it. But you know how these things go sometimes. Her protests meant nothing. The marriage happened, and just like that, Afshan was tied to the one man she couldn't stand. So this wasn't the start of a beautiful new chapter. Oh no. For her, it was like starting a prison sentence, and her cell was filled with her own resentment. So you're probably wondering, how does a marriage like that even work? Well, the dynamic that developed was just a total contrast. You had Afshan's complete, open disdain on one side, and on the other, Sareem's quiet, unbelievable patience. And look, we're not talking about a few rough weeks of getting used to each other. No, this went on for 2 full years. For 2 years, Afshan kept him at arm's length, and for 2 years, Sareem just endured it. He was in a marriage that was basically a marriage on paper only. He got zero affection, zero partnership, nothing. The difference in how they acted was just staggering. Afshan wouldn't lift a finger. No cooking, no cleaning, she wouldn't even wash his clothes. But Sareem, he did everything. Everything. He cooked her meals, he cleaned their house, he took care of her, all while she treated him like he was invisible. And the craziest part? He never once complained. So after 2 long years of this cold, predictable routine, you'd think nothing could ever change, right? But then something happens, a simple conversation, and it plants the very first tiny seed of doubt in Afshan's head. So here's what happened. Afshan's on the phone with a friend, doing what she always does, complaining about Sareem. She's going on about how his attempts to be nice to her are just so annoying. And she's expecting her friend to agree, to say, "Oh, you're so right, he sounds awful." But that is not what happened. Instead, her friend comes back with something completely unexpected, something powerful. She says, "Afshan, only the lucky get men like this." And bam, for the first time ever, someone pushed back. Someone challenged her version of reality. The idea that she, Afshan, could be lucky to have Sareem, that was a totally new concept. And it made her stop. And for the first time, really, truly think. Okay, so that little seed of doubt, it starts to grow. And this is where the story takes a turn, heading towards its tragic climax. And it all begins with one last, incredibly heartfelt gesture from Sareem. It's her birthday. Sareem comes to her, gets on his knees, and holds out a rose. He only asks for one thing. He says, "Our marriage is 2 years old, but we have never hugged. Please, just embrace me today." So she does, a bit reluctantly, but she does. And as he's holding her, he starts to cry. And he says something she doesn't understand at the time. "Who knows if I'll have this chance again?" And that was the moment. That was it. The dam just broke. Later that night, alone with her thoughts, Afshan finally saw him. Not as the plain villager, but as this kind, loving man who had put up with so much from her. She felt the crushing weight of her own cruelty, and she made a decision. Tomorrow was going to be a new day. She was going to make him breakfast. She was going to give him everything he deserved. So the next morning, she wakes up, and she's full of hope, right? She's ready to start over. She makes breakfast, goes to his room to wake him up, and finds him just lying there, so still. His face is pale, and there's blood on his mouth, on the sheets. He was Later at the hospital, the whole horrible truth comes out. The doctor tells her that Sarim was seriously, seriously ill. The doctor had begged him, told him he needed to bring someone with him for support, but Sarim's answer was always the same. He'd just say, "Doctor, who would I bring? I have no one. No one is waiting for me at home. There's no one to care if I'm tired, no one to soothe my pain." There's actually a literary term for this. It's called anagnoresis. It's that gut punch moment of discovery, when a character suddenly understands the true nature of their situation. And for Ashan, this was it. The horrific realization that the man she dismissed as plain was actually a man dying from a hidden sickness and dying from a broken heart. He was completely, utterly alone, and she never even knew. So this whole story, it's more than just a sad love story, isn't it? It's a really brutal, timeless lesson. It's about looking at what's right in front of you and actually seeing it, valuing it. And this is really the core message, the thing to take away from all this. Don't play games with people's hearts. Don't push them and torment them until there's nothing left. It's a plea, really, to get that our actions have real consequences. That pride, that ego, it can literally be deadly. Life is just too fragile. You can't let your own pride get in the way of a chance at real love. And so that leaves us with this final kind of haunting question. Afshan thought she had tomorrow. She planned for the next morning. But for Sarim, that morning never came. And it just forces you to ask yourself, doesn't it? Who in your life are you maybe taking for granted? And what can you do, not tomorrow, but right now, to show them that you care before your time runs out?